of the power dynamics when it comes to like Lyor Cohen and the music industry and what they were willing to promote. Um, they said that they wanted to make money, and I guess drugs and sex sells. But if they had more moral um, authority, they would have said, you know what, we're gonna keep on pushing people like NWA or people who are more conscious, KRS-1. We'll keep pushing them, and we'll ignore the more gangster rappers. Uh, they could have done that, and I want to hold certain people accountable when it comes to certain things like that, or when it comes to reparations. Like you repaired other people, you need to repair Black people. Like so, I'll engage in that, but I'm not. I'll do my own personal research when it comes to if you built the pyramids and the
And that's
12 tribes of Judah.
yeah,
You know,
and that's
yeah, Kanye.
but that's the thing, right? Like it's like
Period.
it's hard for me, like for me and my perspective is like it's hard for me to to literally articulate it and say it because I'm not fully educated in that world, right? Like I don't want to speak to something that's incorrect. So I think a lot of what, like for me, and when I speak, and like as a black man, when I speak, I have to be for sure that this is, society accepts it. I'm not gonna look like an idiot. Like, you know what I mean? I go through these checks and balances in my head, man. You know what I mean? And why do I do that? Why do I do that? I'm like, is it a fear of being like labeled? Like, do I want to be labeled? And it's like I wanna try to dissect that. You know what I mean? Like that. And I'm pretty sure like a lot of people, a lot of black men, they probably do the same thing where it's like they have this fear of speaking out of turn or not fully, like saying something that might be politically incorrect, but it's true.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it's true. It's going against the grain, but it's like how do you say it because it's not safe, right? Like you're in this unsafe environment. Like society says, like we are the lower of the lowest, right? Um, and sometimes even in your family dynamics, right? Like how do you talk about those issues with your family, your friends, like your coworkers? Like you can't. It's hard. Like you're constantly around these people, and you can't really express how you truly feel and how you want to articulate certain viewpoints or perspectives or call out racism that you experience in the boardroom, right? Like it's hard to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like why? You know what I mean? Like so it's like really getting to that, and I think that's what I'm trying to, and I commend like what Kyrie and Kanye West were able to show me is that fear is that they don't have a
It's
fear
real.
of just saying what they truly feel. You know what I mean?
It's real.
Whether it is hurtful content, like it has hurt a lot of people, but I just wanted just to talk about that, right? That piece where it's like that fear of like what society is gonna say to me. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care because I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna fully express myself the way I want to express myself. And I feel that sometimes we are guarded in that and can't really articulate that to others. And then people don't really know us. They don't know our culture. They don't know who I am as a black man because I'm not fully like haven't been able to speak. You know what I mean? And so I think that's where I
Yeah.
have those discussions in my head. But I wanted to throw it to Ada. Like Ada, like what do you like? You can jump in here and just have like what you feel like.
And I mean, can you guys remind me where is it like? Why is it that some people second guess themselves before they speak on
Mm.
these type of things, or
Yeah, like just in terms of like what I'm saying, like, and I agree with, with Travis and Marco are talking about. It's just like for me, and I feel that sometimes it's like not fully understanding or aware of certain information or knowing how society is going to view me or what the impact of what I'm going to say is going to do. Sometimes, you know, and sometimes with on top of the fact that I'm a black man, right? Like, how is that going to be
Yeah.
perceived to someone
Exactly.
else?
So you just
You know?
mentioned all the like a number of the facets that are involved with like what goes into that decision making. Because one, primarily as a self-preserving measure, you don't want to voluntarily put a target on your back,
Mm-hmm.
especially being family man. Like you have dependents that provide on you. So let's say you were in Kyrie's shoes, but you don't have the leverage he has. I mean, this guy is paid what multi millions a year.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, he could be fired today, could be set for life. So he
Yeah.
already has
Yeah, that's
nothing to
true.
do with that aspect, right? So if we look at people like us, where we still, work that 9 to 5 to make sure that paycheck comes in, goes to our mortgage and all the other bills we have, we can't afford to lose that. So that's the first reason why I would say we have to. In fact, not that we we have to second guess and think through whatever we're going to say because one, groupthink is a major, I think, driving factor with what's going on with this whole debacle and why it's being blown out of proportion. Because everybody, or I shouldn't say everybody, the majority of people have failed to look at this thing logically.
Mm.
Essentially, Kyrie was putting out what he has, should I say, been informed of what or what he has gone out and learned for himself. And by doing so, because it strays from what the general society or social media, that whole demographic views as the norm, he's being crucified for it, essentially. If you go back in history, this happens all the time. Go back to when, I don't know who it was, Galileo or whoever it was, says, oh, the earth doesn't, um, the earth doesn't revolve around the sun. It's the sun that goes around the earth. These dudes were almost killed for
Mm.
saying that. So it's the same thing we're seeing again. Objectively, Kanye and Kyrie were saying, if I can summarize it from maybe I'm misinformed, but if I can summarize it, they're saying across their industry, sports, entertainment, the people that are in positions of influence, that are decision makers, predominantly Jewish. Kanye, I think there was one clip TMZ aired or whatnot. Somebody was interviewing, and he had an Excel sheet that had this thing all the executives, the directors, the VP. It was an Excel sheet that was on his phone, and the whole sheet was essentially red, maybe for about 15 cells in it, and all those red cells were all Jewish, all individuals of the Jewish religion. So
Mm.
it's not that he's anti-Semitic; he's just pointing something out. He's saying, "Oh, this is this is the demographic that's in position of power that
Mm.
makes decisions that affects my way of life, the way he makes money, the things that he
But think
that
about, I think it even goes deeper than that. Because if you think about it,
yeah."
look at it from the music industry, if these people are in power, right? If these
Mhm.
people are so-called in these lucrative places, which is kudos to them. They've
Yeah.
worked to get, and whether they haven't or whether they're not, they're in a position where they can impact things, right? But if you
Right.
think of them in the traditional religious type of view, what do they believe in those religious views? And why are they able for themselves to separate themselves spiritually from their business sense and then be able to push that kind of content and then be like, oh, it's okay because it's black people?
That's right.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
Now,
that's
now you look
another,
at it from
I
the
think,
narrative.
point.
Now you look at it from a narrative of a consumer's perspective in the web to go find an acceptable content within rap music.
Mhm.
Is
Right.
it pushed? Is it promoted? Is it worthy? Right? When's the last time you hear a very conscious number one artist? It was Kendrick when he
Exactly.
did that. It was last time was Kendrick, and then before that, it's probably Black Thought or
J. Cole, maybe.
J. Cole ain't even that conscious though. J. Cole is more of a self-conscious.
Yeah.
It's not an identity conscious.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if you look at that perspective, like from my perspective, I look at it from the consumer, and I look at it from the people that have to write the that come with the content. As an artist, Kanye is coming with Kanye is the one that almost switched that gangster rap to backpack rap.
That's right.
Remember that? So from the start, he was always against the whole idea of perception of black people as this. So when you fast forward to 2022, when he's like, okay, well, I want to be independent, I want to run my own stuff, but I can't because all these people are again creating a new perspective out of my life, which is not who I am.